seems like a weird thing to do, bringing a dog into a house that already has a cat.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
When he sees you, he expects more from me. Don't you get that?
What am I gonna do with you?
Love me, feed me, never leave me.
Garfield was the obese cat that was the main character in the film. And just like we own cats, Garfield was owned by a man named John, who was his own family and caretaker. His favorite food was lasagna, and we also learnt that his worst food was liver. This orange cat was very lazy and arrogant, and would spend hours watching TV while waiting for John to arrive. When John brought a dog in the house, Garfield was not pleased, and would do a lot of pranks and physical harm to it. Anyways, the dog named OD grew into Garfield, and he started tolerating him more better. Now, the owner of Garfield was called John Arbuckle. He was a nerdy man who was born to farm owners, and also had a brother who was not the main focus in the movie. He was not a women's person, and was seen struggling with pickup lines while trying to bag his crush. He also lacked social skills, and his ugly and unfashioned clothes spoke volumes about his social life. Either way, he was quite a good person to both Garfield and the dog OD. Liz Wilson was the girlfriend of John, and was generally a good person who loved John even with his unlovable qualities. John had a huge crush on her, and after making the first move, she didn't turn him down, and she even went on to love him dearly. In the second film, John asked her to marry him, and she happily accepted the request. She was also a veterinarian and was seen asking Garfield to lose some weight and live a healthier life. Luca was a Doberman Pinscher, and was a territorial and aggressive watchdog who had a huge hatred to Garfield. The reason Garfield never feared him was because he was tied up and couldn't reach him. Garfield always taunted and insulted him with words, and would even go much further to humiliate him in his own territory. He was not a sharp dog, and his intelligence was below sea level. The only animal he seemed to enjoy was OD, who was just a dog like him. And even though he hated Garfield, he had no other grudge against cats like Arlene and Nermal. And now to the main antagonist known as Happy Chapman, who was a disgruntled pet idol that pretended to love pets, but underneath he disliked them, both cats and dogs alike. He was an arrogant and manipulative person who would do anything to appear nice and loving. He was very allergic to cats, and this was among the many reasons he hated them. He wanted OD to star in his shows, and went as far as stealing the dog for his personal gains. He was extremely cunning and deceitful person, and was also seen putting a shock collar on the animals in order to control them. Nermal was a small gray tabby cat who Garfield was jealous of. Ever since John called him cute, Garfield always saw him as competition to John's love. He always made unannounced visits to visit John and Garfield, and this made Garfield even more angry at him. Since he was a midget, he always thought that he would stay cute forever, and this gave him an unconditional ego to other cats. Arlene, on the other hand, was a female Russian cat who lived in the neighborhood, and was known to dislike Garfield after seeing how he treated OD. He even shamed him after locking OD out of the house for his jealous reasons. Persnickety was a short-tempered cat, whose real name was Sir Roland. He was originally on the Happy Chapman show, and was seen getting adopted by a little girl while living in the rescue center. He was also the one who pressed the button which opened the cages and led the animals to escape from the sanctuary. Mrs. Baker was a fan of the Happy Chapman show, and was seen to be the one who took OD in after he escaped from his home after being locked out by Garfield. She placed posters around the neighborhood about OD, and Happy Chapman was seen coming for OD to her house, and she was also seen asking for his autograph.
Better luck next time. Now, you be careful.